Hello everyone, and welcome to the channel. As of recently, I've been working on a, shall we say, custom for the Gundam IVO HG frames. I've been basing this on the Gundam Halphas, the fan art that's been going around for some time. So I decided to 3D print the armor, and that's what I've done. And now the 3D printing process and designing is complete. Now I will show it on a video. Now, the frame that I based it on is the Gundam Astaroth Rinascimento. Now, really, it can use any frame, but like the Gundam frames have the back section. A lot of them is different. However, any frame that has these two pegs will work. Now, and then the polycaps that you need for the legs are this type of polycaps. Now then, some armor parts do require assembly. So like, let's begin with the legs. So the legs come in 3 parts. So what we need to do is get this part, and get this part, and then this almost arrow shape has a peg on the back, and then this one has a hole at the top. So this can just plug in there. Now, I would recommend it to be glued, but you don't have to, depending on how well your printer prints it. Now, this one, there's some grooves in there where these one will sit. So, 1 second. And then this one, there's a peg there. I mean, there's a hole and a peg there. And then it goes like this. And there we go. And then we grab our leg. Now, I would also recommend to tighten the joints because it is 3D printed. It is heavier than the normal plastic. So I recommend you to tighten the joints by either adding glue, or if you're going to paint it, you just paint it. Just paint the joints. So that goes there. And then we bring in the back of the leg. The back of the heel, I mean, attaches the normal Gundam frame method, where it's like 2 holes and the pegs. Okay. So here we have the heel that will connect to the heel of the frame. Now, warning. As you can see, it has snapped one of the pegs on me. Now, this has only happened with this one specific one, and I've printed this heel 3 times. So careful with your printing settings, or careful how tight this is. Like, it's just the normal way. And like that. There we go. We have 2 legs. Excuse the not matching of the color. I ran out of the black filament when I was still working on it. Now then, we have the legs. So this. Now this, like, it's just like every other Gundam frame, where you put your polycap in there, and then you grab your shin, and then there's several holes there, and then there's the pegs there, the holes there that will insert into here. So let's go up 1 second. So there we go. So there we go. We have 1 leg, and then this has several pieces. So first we have the thigh armor, which this inserts like every other thigh armor in the Gundam frame line. If you build one, you've built them all, basically. And there we go. Now then, we bring in the back of the thing, and then this will slide like this, where this hole will connect to this peg right there. And there we go. And then we bring in this piece, and this connects with the pegs going down into those holes right there. This should just slide in there with no issues. And then we bring our leg, and we peg it. And that's 1 leg done. And there we go. We have 2 legs done. I don't think I have messaged it, but this is before the cleanup. As you can see, there's still some ugly support marks, but we'll get it cleaned up later on. Now then, the crotch. Let's build it from the front first. So like, this is like just like any normal Gundam frame, where you have your front skirts and your I guess front skirts holder, and then just like normal peg hole, and it goes to there, just like that. And then we have our side skirts, where they just peg from a hole like that. So there's 2 holes. You want to pay attention to the one that's up there, the one that is higher up. And then again, depending on your printer settings, it would be like different. It will go in different, easier, and as well the polycap. All right, there we go. Now then, we bring in the back side. So let's move this out to the side. Okay. So here we have the back side, and there really comes in multiple parts. The back wings that are, like, I would say, iconic to this fan-made design. Where now, first of all, the wings, they are 4 parts. However, I have glued them into here, which you don't have to. They'll hold in there just fine. However, I would recommend it. And then this is the, I guess, back skirt. So what you do is you grab this piece, and then with this tick marks going up and the pegs being offset up, you grab this where you see the where the thrusters are pointing back. And then it's a peg there, a hole there. You put it in there, and then you reverse it here. And you know it's the front by the little, there's a little shape there. So, like that. And there we go. And then we bring this in there. There's a square hole back here. There's a square peg. And we put it in there. And there we go. Then this can articulate up and articulate down. And then we bring this in here and we peg it there. And now then, so we have it done. Now let's do the arms. Okay. So the arms are like almost every other Gundam frame, in the exception in here. Now, so these were made with 2 halves in. Now there is one thing, this was not made to be taken on and off. As you can see, the pegs there have stress marks, so this was not made to be taken on and off constantly. But like, you move it like this, and then you peg it down like that. You just slide it like that, and then you bring the back side, and then you slide it in the same way, like this. Okay. And then we bring in our bicep armor, where it will be just like the traditional Gundams, where it just slides in there, and then we push that in there. And then we bring in the shoulder armor, which is like just every other Gundam frame, where hole and peg. And there we go. And then there's also armor for the back of the hands. It goes like this. Come on, get in there. Now for this one, I do recommend for it to be sanded down just a bit, unless your printer is really precise. I'm using an Ender 3 Pro, so it isn't really that precise, but it's precise enough. But I would just recommend to sand it down just a tad, if it doesn't fit, of course. So that, and then that goes in there, like normally, and we have an arm. Now then, here we go, the second arm, here. So now we have the torso. Now these are where most of the changes from the original design were placed. And that's because when you look at the original design, this piece right here is entirely different. And it's also, this piece right here, it's also connected to the chest. I didn't really want that because I wanted articulation. I wanted to keep this point of articulation. So I didn't make that change. Now, maybe in the future, if I ever come to this, I'll make a brand new piece to go in here. But as of now, I only made this part and I did redesigned it a bit. But like most of the shape, it's still the same. So this is composed of multiple parts where it goes like this, the plug like this. And then as well, as you can see, this side, it snapped, but this side didn't. You really don't need these pegs, but it's just nicer to have. And it also would depend on the way you print it, because the way I printed it added support here, so the peg bent out a tiny bit. I needed to sand it down, I ended up snapping it. But depending on your printer or your printer settings, you may not have that issue. And this plugs in like any other Gundam frame. Okay, and then next, we have the side pieces, which would plug in the hole and that peg. Like that. And like that. So here we're done. Now, let's turn it around and bring the backpack. Now, on the original design, there is no picture of the backside, no drawing of the backside, so I needed to come up with one. And I came up with this, where it's not the best, but it's like, it's simple enough. So like, this plugs in like every other Gundam frame backpack. So we have plugged in the backpack. Now, this may be a tight fit, and as well, depending on which color you're using, it can make it really hard to put in or border possible. But it should go with almost no issue as long as you're using a right color. I'm using this customized color, I believe. I don't know where this came from. I just had it because, well, most of the frame is the same as the Astaroth. A lot of these were just extra parts that I had lying around. Alright then, now the head. Now this is the Astaroth head. And then was designed in a very similar way where we have 3 pieces, the crest and 2 cheeks. So, the way to determine it, which side goes where, is that it'll have this one right here. And then it'll be a peg and a hole right there. So we go in there like that, and then the other side the same. Now then, the crest. Now, so there's a hole there that goes into this hole, and then this gap right here hooks into this gap right there. So we plug it in there, and then it rests like this. And there we go. Now, it's not a hard connection, it's not a tight connection, but it holds it in there just fine. Like, it won't fall. Maybe move it around a bit, it will fall, but like, as it is, it's fine. And then you could also always glue it. Now then, I also created some weapons for this guy. So here we have the rifle. So it comes in as the, I guess we could say, the frame of the rifle and the shell. Now then, there's a groove right here, and there's a, I guess we could call it a peg, where this would slide there. Let this go in, let this section go first, go through this hole right here, and then hook it there, and then press. And it should hold it right there with no issues whatsoever. And then we have the sword, which is in 4 pieces. Now, one thing that you may need to do is you may need to either sand or kind of remove material from this blade if it doesn't hold on the arm, which is what I had to do, but this may vary on printer settings. Now, for assembly, in this short side right here, you bring in the smallest pieces, where this the longer side should be pointing down, and you bring it like that, and a groove and a peg, and it goes like that. Now then, for this side, you bring in the medium piece, and the open side goes here down. So the same way as the little one. There it goes. And then for the back side, we'll bring the longest one, and then the side with the open side goes there, and just line up the grooves, and it goes in there like that, and then it holds it in. It holds it in, and there we go. And there we go. It's all put together. Now to show that he can actually hold the weapons, that was not supposed to happen. Now then, for him, so we remove the weapon, I mean the arm, and then we put in the weapon like you wouldn't do any other Gundam. And you sandwich it together, and there we go. He holds it in, and the sword is the exact same way. Now then, some size comparisons. Here we have it next to the fourth form of the Barbatos, and as you can see, this guy is a bit taller at the crest, but they're both using the same frame. Now, I gotta say, I'm pretty happy with him. Now, the final step would be to paint it, so let's do that.